operating. So I don't know, I hope that this video still has a good lighting. Maybe the ring light is about to die. Anyways, so I'm going to pull up some photos from the trip and we'll go through them together, not through all of them. I took way too many pictures. I always say to myself that I can't do that because I never look at the pictures afterwards anyways. But I will just choose the best, I guess. Okay, so the trip started at about like 4 a.m. because I had to wake up really early to get to the airport. I was dying, like I slept only about 2 hours, which was definitely a mistake, but I always end up packing like very last minute and then I cannot find stuff that I need and blah blah blah. So I slept only like 2 hours and I felt fine completely. That changed later on. Prior to this, I booked an Airbnb. I chose the Airbnb myself in Oslo, and I chose the flights as well, which like might not have been the best decision. But I didn't have the information about how to get to the Airbnb like the night before, so I ended up texting the host and she sent me the directions, and one of the directions was just like, oh, just go to the Joker and pick up your keys. And I'm like, what? And I sent it to my friend and she's just like, wait, what? I didn't know that. Like, Joker is a very popular convenience store chain that was like nearby. And then also I look at some of the information about the Airbnb, and there was the name of the Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi password, and I kid you not, if you translated the name of the Wi-Fi, it said, "Come to Jesus," and the password was something like hallelujah or something, which even if you're religious, I don't like, that's a kind of an unusual name for a Wi-Fi, isn't it? So again, I sent it to my friend and she's just like, oh, we're going to perish there, like we have Jesus, we have Joker, like what is going on? She even said something along the lines of like, maybe I should wear my Christian cross on my neck from my grandma, just so like the Joker would know that we are with them, you know. Whatever. Anyways, so I wasn't feeling well right before we got on the airplane, and truth be told, I don't know if it was either because I ate too much breakfast or because I was just so exhausted. Like, honestly, I think it was the latter, but and also I was wearing this shirt, which I will like put a picture here of from the website, and the cashier complimented my shirt at the airport. He was just like, oh, you have a great shirt. I'm like, thank you, it's like perfect for traveling, which like, yeah, that's usually how my travels go. Okay, so then we got to the Oslo airport. Nothing unusual happened there, honestly. We got to the Airbnb. We had to go to the Joker. Here's the thing, in the directions it said that you just go to the Joker convenience store and you pick up your keys. So in my head I'm thinking, okay, there's going to be like a locker, because we also had a code, and that's what I expected to see. There was no locker, and so I went into the Joker store and I was roaming around. Of course, I I didn't see any lockers, right? So I went out, my friend went back in, she was just like, was there a cashier when you were there? And I was like, yes. And she said, well, there's none right now, there's just smell of weed. Which, yeah, that store really smelled of weed. Anyways, what ended up happening was that you had to talk to the cashier, and the cashier would give you the keys. That was not in the instructions. I imagined something else. Anyways, so we get to the Airbnb, and right off the bat, I'm like, okay, this Airbnb looks like somebody just left. Not like other, tourists, but like actual the people that live there. Why am I saying this? Well, first of all, whenever I booked an Airbnb before, it was always like a apartment that was only used for the short term rent, meaning like there was nothing in the fridge, you didn't have like personal belongings of the actual owners, stuff like that. This Airbnb was different because it had personal photos. The closet was full of stuff. The fridge still had food in it, and I kid you not, there was some kind of paste that by the time we would leave, it would have gone bad. Like, it kind of smelled in the fridge. There was no kettle. What do you mean there's no kettle? I need my morning tea or coffee, but there was no kettle. Of course, I could technically, use a pot, but I didn't want to do that. And there was no hair dryer. Luckily, I packed my own. That's besides the point. The thing is, like, this Airbnb was just full of personal belongings, and my friend and I almost started to play this game of like trying to figure out who the owners were. And like, one of the first thing I have found was a Norwegian copy of Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler. Interesting. And then, you know what, wait, let me move to the side and I will show you the photos. And then we opened the cupboards and there were these political mugs. And wait a minute, I can actually look at I filmed the mugs. So there's like, I don't know, is this like, this definitely like a Yugoslavian mug. Then you have like mug of Vladimir Putin. Then there was a random cup from Beauty and the Beast. And then there was a cup that looked like mermaid's body. I was just like, who are these people? Like, what is going on? And also the decoration in the apartment was interesting. Like, you would have these random things on like on the wall, and then you had some paintings, and you had like candles made out of poop. So like, it was interesting, for sure. And I'm not going to lie, this was fun. It was fun to trying to figure out who the owners were, and soon we figured out it was like a couple. But the fact that they still had the food in the fridge, again, like, it looked like they just left. Usually, Airbnbs are different, but this was fun. It was almost like an escape room, kind of. Okay, so, oh, by the way, yeah, I wanted to go on a boat that night, but we were too tired. So we ended up just watching Netflix, and I think I don't even remember the movies we saw. It was some kind of like horror movie, and then one with like Sydney Sweeney or something. That one was a horror as well. But the point is that around like 10 p.m. all of a sudden this candle turned on that was on the shelf, and I'm like, what? And was like solar power, like no, nothing. So like, how the hell did this candle turn on randomly? I have no idea. And then at around like 11 p.m. the light on the balcony turned on. And that one I thought, okay, maybe that's just a timer, but in the days after it didn't turn on. So like, what was going on here? Oh, and also because Oslo is near a shore, there are tons of seagulls, and so the buildings have these little like fake birds that look like hawks maybe, or predators, that kind of flop around in the wind. And I could see one from the Airbnb. You know, these things are there to scare the seagulls away, right? So they wouldn't poop on the buildings, whatever. I kid you not, I stared at this fake blackbird for exactly 10 minutes. It was as if I was hypnotized by it. Before it broke. And it was gone. So for exactly 10 minutes I could watch the hypnotizing flappy bird. After 10 minutes, poof, gone. All the other buildings still had it. They didn't fix it by the time we left the Airbnb. So I guess it was not meant to be. I was not meant to stare at the beautiful black fake floppy bird. Not meant to be. Okay, by the way, I don't know if you can hear the sounds outside. It's a little bit disturbing, but I don't have any other time slot for filming, so it's just, we have to deal with this. Okay, so the next day we went to the Norwegian Opera and Ballet House. We only walked like on like the shore, and then we didn't go inside the building. There's also me with a lion on the street. And then we went to the gallery of, it's called, see, I don't know, people pronounce it as either Munch or Monk, so I'm going to pronounce it as Monk. This is the gallery, well, not just by this artist, but it is mainly the gallery of the artist Edvard Munch. I'm gonna say Monk, I don't know. And mainly I was there to see the Scream, the very famous painting, and of course I got a bunch of souvenirs. Wait, let me actually show them to you, because the first thing that I saw when I entered the gallery was a souvenir shop, of course. So just in case you don't know how it looks like, so this is I got can you actually see it? I don't know if it won't focus, but I got a textile reusable bag with the painting. It's actually pretty big. Yeah. Look at this. And I also got a t-shirt, and this is the black and white version of the Scream. There are 3 versions in total, so this is the black and white version, and I got the shirt in black. Did I get anything else? I also bought a bunch of souvenirs for my family, but I already gave it to them, so there's that. They also had the Scream cookie, which looked really cute, but I didn't buy it because, I don't know, it was kind of expensive, and it was just a regular cookie, you know. Wait, let me look at the photos. So this gallery has the majority of Munch's works. The Scream was on the 2nd floor, and you have 3 versions, right? Each version is only displayed for 30 minutes, I believe. And when I was there, they actually opened the most famous version, this one, and it's there. You can like watch it. There's security, and then they close it, and another section opens with the second or third version. Originally, I've read on Wikipedia that one of the versions is at the National Museum, which, yes, there is one there too. I went there as well, and some of the artwork is there as well. However, most of his artwork is in the Monk Gallery. So I took a bunch of photos. Oh, by the way, these paintings, I know they might not seem like it, but these are huge. This was a huge room, and the paintings were like, I don't know, like 3-4 meters tall. I didn't know that he also painted like these huge paintings. And then there was an exhibition with stuff like from his house, like how it used to look like. And then there were exhibitions of other artists, and these are, I think, well, some of them are probably temporary. Yeah, they're temporary. This is an exhibition by Kyoshi Yamamoto, which was just like a bunch of fabrics kind of placed in a room with music. It was interesting. Okay. Next. By the way, I have to post some of these things onto my Instagram. I never post anything on there. It's like ridiculous. Right. Then we went and had tacos. No, I think I had burritos, but they also sold tacos because I took this picture of like feed me tacos that tell me I'm pretty. I like the sign. Okay. Then we took a walk around the Monkey Museum, and we were trying to figure out where we will go next, because all museums or galleries usually close at around 4 or 5 p.m. So we decided to walk over to Akershus Castle. I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly. And Google said that they close at around 9 p.m., which was a lie, because technically, yeah, you could visit the castle until 9 p.m., but you could not enter into the exhibition, which, like, I don't know, like when I'm there, I prefer to actually see, you know, the stuff in the castle, but we couldn't do that. They closed it, and in fact, for some reason, I don't know, while we were walking and we were leaving, there was this military car, and we passed through the gate, and they just closed the gate behind us, and I'm like, okay. And then we had to like take a long walk around the castle because we couldn't go back. Also, I had this ice cream, which on the cup it says large ice cream. I didn't think that it would be this large. I went in there and I said that I want like 3 servings, and the lady there was just like, are you sure, because our servings are really big. I'm like, okay, maybe 2 then. I almost passed away from eating this ice cream. It was huge, and I didn't take a photo when I first got it. This is after like 20 minutes of me trying to eat this ice cream. So we were walking there around the castle. I kind of look around and I'm like, what is going on here? Why all these restaurants have pride flags? And then we like walk, and there's this huge sign that says Oslo Pride, and I'm like, wait a minute. And this is when I googled, when is Oslo Pride, and it was that weekend. In fact, it was on Saturday, which means a whole lot of people in the streets. And also on Saturday there was the Pitbull concert, which means also a lot of people. this weekend, which yeah, we will get into. So you could also see the pride flags on the National Theatre. Like, it was everywhere. The pride flags were everywhere. When I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. And in fact, it's kind of nice. Like, actually, you know, like each business had a pride flag inside. Almost like, I would say like 90% of businesses that I went to, or like coffee shops or whatever, restaurants, they had pride flags. Like, they were everywhere, like everywhere. In the subway, you would have like pride advertisements. Like, it was everywhere. So this was Saturday, I think. We went to the Royal Palace. I took a photo near the palace. That was like a horse that I took a photo in. And also, yeah, they had like pride exhibitions, like parks with like rainbow stuff. Like, when I'm telling you that the rainbow was everywhere, it was truly everywhere. And we went to the Viking Museum. Now, there are two Viking museums, I think, and the one that I originally wanted to go to was closed because they were, I don't know, doing some reconstruction. So we went to the Digital Viking Museum. I actually have it over here. Now, I gotta say that this was a little disappointing because there were no artifacts. Technically, you could visit, quote unquote, the exhibition virtually, the one that is closed. But like, you don't actually get to see all the ships or anything really. You only have like digital stuffs and like screens everywhere, which, I don't know, I prefer seeing like real life stuff, you know, if you know what I mean. I took a picture there with Viking clothes, and then there was this AI tool that would turn you into like a Viking, which I used, and it spat out like the worst image imaginable of me. Like, what is that? What happened there? Like, my friend was joking that I'm looking at like Vikings approaching nearby from like both sides. Like, what the hell, AI? It's just, I showed it to my mom. She had a field day with that one. She was laughing so much. Okay, so after we exited the Viking Museum, the Pride was already happening, and again, I don't know what I expected, but I thought that the Pride maybe takes like 2 hours max, like the whole parade, and that everyone walks in the parade. No. You have the parade, which takes actually quite, I don't know how long it took for the entire parade to go through the city. But we could not cross the road. We wanted to go to the National Museum, and there was just no way of crossing the road. There were so many people everywhere, and maybe there, I don't know, maybe somewhere I could like wiggle in between, but then you had like trucks of people, like I don't know, like we could not cross, and the traffic was blocked as well because I wanted to maybe get on a bus and go to like the other side, but Google was extremely unhelpful. It only told me that I can walk there because it was like 5 minutes away. I could not, and the fact that like Google does not really give you an option of maybe like, I don't know, maybe I could have like tracked it somehow, but the point is I couldn't find a way of how to cross the Oslo Pride Parade. And then we took the subway, but here's the thing, the subway only was like this, all like the subway lines, and the parade was like this, so extremely unhelpful, right? So we went to like a different subway station. That's when we realized that it's already too late later, so we only decided to have some, I don't know, food and then go back to the Airbnb. Now, we went to this Asian place, and the name of the restaurant, I'll absolutely say the real name, was Shanghai 2K18. It had good reviews on Google. We went in, they set us down, they didn't take our order for good 25 to 30 minutes. And in the meantime, my friend starts to read reviews, not on Google, but on, I think, like Yelp or like TripAdvisor. And there are all these reviews of people saying that, like, nobody took their order, they waited so long for their food, and that somebody got into like a fight with the waiter and they had to call the police, like all these bad reviews. And I'm like, shit. Plus we were running out of time. So after, because here's the thing, at some point I also kind of like made eye contact with the waiter so that he would finally come and take our order. And it's not like the restaurant was full, it was not. And he decided to like ignore us, and I'm like, okay, you want to play these games? Okay. And we just left the restaurant. Screw this. And we went to a different one, and we just got takeout because all the other restaurants were full, because again, it was a parade and people wanted to eat after the parade, so it was super crowded. And we just went to the Airbnb where we got dressed for the Pitbull concert. And yes, we decided to go in the full Pitbull attire, with the bald cap, with glasses, with like, I had like a business suit almost. I look like I go to a business meeting a little. But yeah, I decided to dress up for the concert, my friend as well. And then we had to take the subway, which for some strange reason was like delayed by like 20 minutes. Maybe because of the pride, I don't know. And then we had to take a bus to go to the arena. Now, here's what happened. First of all, the bus was extremely crowded. There were people everywhere. But on like the third bus stop, as we were leaving, somebody opened the door from the outside. And I think there was a glitch, because normally it does not let you open the door when the bus is already moving, right? But there was a glitch, and the bus sped away, and the door was opened. Now imagine this, okay? Jesus Christ. The bus has like regular speed. There's a crowd of people. I was at the door, right? I only had one free arm because there are people everywhere. And the door is open, and then the bus started to turn in like full speed. And I knew in that moment that like if I don't do something, I'm about to die. Like I'm about to fall out of the bus in full speed, and either I will get injured or like die. And I was like, oh, hell no, I am not getting injured, or I will not die in like a pitbull costume. Like, what the hell? So here's the thing. This was only like a few seconds, by the way. But apparently I didn't notice this, but like somebody else just stuck a head out of the moving bus, which like great survival skills, by the way. 10 out of 10. I only had like a few seconds. I grabbed the door, the open door with one free hand, and I pulled it like with force to kind of essentially close it. And then my friend pulled out the other part, and then she like kind of like gave the door to me. I was holding the door with like one hand, and just imagine just like, oh yeah, I have to hold the door so all these people, including me, wouldn't fall out. And I was calm, but then as soon as like the driver actually closed the door, my knees were shaking. Okay, but what do we say to the god of death? Not today. And to be honest, I'm surprised that like nobody else like did anything. I don't know. Like, anyways, because it's not like I was at the perfect spot anyway, but like nobody did anything. Like, okay, if you want to fall on the sidewalk and die and be hit by the next car, be my guest, but I don't. Anyways, so the Pitbull concert was really fun. There was such a great atmosphere. People were drinking a lot though, and I had only a pear cider because that was the only alcohol that I kind of liked on the menu. Of course, the queues were horrible, but then at the actual concert, it was so much fun. People were dancing. There was this one lady right in front of me that for some reason was turned to like, she was turned to like face me for like half of the concert. I don't know what the point of that was, and it was kind of distracting because of course like I'm looking at the stage, and then this one middle-aged drunk lady was like turned to face the audience. What are we doing here? But it was just so much fun. The atmosphere was just great. The way back home was not. Plus, I was sweating so much, like it was so hot at the arena, and I had the bald cap, and oh, my bald cap also started to smell at some point. I don't know, it smelled like death. I kid you not. And then with all the sweat, oh, it was so bad. But it was fun. The next day we went to the National Museum finally. There were tons of exhibitions. Also there was some art, and I'll just show you very quickly some of the paintings that I really liked. Again, I try not to take pictures of everything. There was this one exhibition that was just so disturbing. There were a few like that. And then there was this exhibition with these like mirror balls, and there was this huge hole, and you had the silver balls everywhere. And at the entrance, it said that you can explore your narcissism by taking the silver balls near the pillars. In my head, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just like, oh, I can just grab any silver ball, whatever. So I went in there and I just like grabbed one, and I like moved it to the side, like I don't know, like 5 meters away. And then I grabbed another one, and my friend was taking a picture of me. And as I'm holding the silver mirror ball, I saw, oh my god, I saw the security slowly approaching, and I'm like, oh no, turns out you're not supposed to take the silver balls by the walls, only near the pillars. And you can actually see in the photo the security approaching. The security was kind though. They were just like, oh, you're not actually supposed to take the silver balls near the walls. I'm like, oh, sorry, thank you. And I left. I wasn't kicked out, but I left. I definitely wasn't the first or the last person to do that, but I find it so ironic that it's not like you can explore your narcissism by taking some silver balls, and I just go for the forbidden ones, you know. I really explored my narcissism there. And the moon is totally dying. That's not great. Anyways, right after that we took a 30-minute long boat ride around the fjord which was so much fun. I always like to go on a boat wherever I am if I can. And then we went to the Colin, which I'll show you the pictures. Where is it? Yeah, it's the Holmenkollen and the ski museum, which was also closed at like 4 p.m. so we couldn't go in to the ski museum, but we just took a walk around it. I've plugged them on in so I can finish this video in peace. Where was I? Oh, while we were there, somebody played the music of Pitbull really loudly, like really loudly. So that was nice. But that's actually it. That's the end of the trip. Oh, one last thing. While we were leaving, we noticed that some like things in the house were not working anymore. The TV stopped working. Again, like the electricity, I think just something happened with the electricity because like you couldn't turn some lights on. The TV stopped working. We wanted to finish the season of like the DCC cheerleaders show on Netflix. We couldn't. And then there was this like smell of sewage tank in the bathroom right before we were leaving. Originally we were supposed to put some of the like bed sheets into the washing machine, and my friend opened it, and oh god, it was as if you just opened the Pandora's box, because the smell was coming from the washing machine, but it was so bad. I've never experienced something like this with a washing machine ever. Like it was literally as if something died in that washing machine. Just the smell of I don't know, yeah, sewage tank. It was so bad. So we were just like, okay, yeah, it's time to leave now. And that's it. I went back afterwards. Overall, I had a very good impression of Oslo. I gotta say also, I thought that it was like a stereotype or whatever, but it's true that, I don't say this lightly, but it's true that, like in general, the people there are, how would I say this, like more attractive than pretty much anywhere I've ever been in. Like I was like, what is going on here? You know, they're doing some things right there. Yeah, like I was shocked. I didn't expect that. And everyone is like really tall. Honestly, it was just like, Jesus Christ. And also everything is really expensive. Like really expensive. But the city's really clean. Or at least like the parts that I've been in. There are a lot of kids. That is usually how I can tell if like this is a good place to live or not. If there are like a lot of kids around, like if people want to have kids there, then it's a good place to live. So there were a lot of kids. By the way, I forgot to show